everybody out there. This is amateur artist Martin D. Chandler here from Manland, and it happens to be Manland 121 in case you're trying to find me out there in the YouTube land. Well, I tell you what, the adventure is finally over. Dino had a contest. Yes, sir, Mr. Dino himself. Remember the contest? Let's see. Because of you, okay? And there were 3 winners that he personally chose himself. I'm scrolling down. He personally chose himself. This was not a random selection. And I want to give congratulations to Chad Collins, to Tara Farley Channel, and NEK Canoeist. All 3 links will be in the bottom, in the description box, below. When I met Dino, the contest, I think he already had it going on, and in the rules you had to be a current subscriber. And I told Mr. Dino, I said I would be proud to do a VR reply in honor of your contest. I said, but I know that I'm not eligible. And he said no problem. And shortly after that, I decided I would wait until the contest came to an end before I actually did a VR reply to the contest. The reason being is because I wanted to state something. I personally do not like contests. I think it's totally redundant to do a contest in order to gain subscribers. Okay? Because it does, as he knows himself, he's already stated it, and several other people out there in the community that we belong to know that it pulls in what I term the riffraff. They want to call it the trolls. I call it riffraff. It's excess baggage. You got too many people out there subscribing just to try to win the contest. Oh, they'll talk to you for just a little bit, this, that, and the other. And there was one contest that I was involved in, I did a VR reply to, and it was Long 13 Hair. And he requested that as part of the rules that we go out there and we subscribe to these people. Now, I followed the rules, I did what he wanted to, I did the VR reply, and I just thought that that was unfair to the other people that he had us subscribe to, because I was being asked to do the troll thing. Unless that person has some type of material on YouTube that I'm interested in, I won't watch their channel. But in a good way, there are just a few people, good people that I've talked to throughout, that I have met by doing that, or at least allow them to come and see my channel, and it was up to them whether they wanted to subscribe to me or not. So in a way, but it's in a small way, that it actually is beneficial. But if you look at this thing as a whole, I mean as a grand scheme, if you have 1 million subscribers, that increases the amount of comments and people actually watching your videos. But as a small channel, and I don't know what we can term as a small channel, let's say 1,000, 1,000 subscribers and below, or maybe 500 subscribers and below, within that range, from 0 to 500 would be the ultra small. I don't know how you term it. I'm new to this. I actually went today, no, it was last night, and I turned off, hopefully it worked, I turned off the public where they can see how many subscribers I have. I turned it off. I'll tell you right now, today, last I checked, it was 174. And that's a long way from 42 that I had, I think it had been 5 weeks ago. Numbers don't mean a lot to me. The only reason you saw the video that I put up, the 151, it just tickled me because that happened to be my drink. Bacardi 151, buddy. But getting back to Dino's request for the VR, that's what this right here is. How would I do a contest? There is no real good way to do a contest. There is no, well, there's always a bad way. But I don't think you can have the perfect setup. In my mind, this is just my opinion, I'm going to do a contest of sorts. What I wanted to do originally was to find a small percolator and take that percolator, that could be used on a fire. It could be used on an electric range, you know, whatever fire source you happen to have. And I was going to send it to someone. And as part of the deal is that they take it, they use it to make a cup of coffee, and they do a video reply while they're doing the actual cooking of the coffee, and they're drinking the coffee, and they're talking to us, and they're telling us a little bit about themselves, about their channel, who they are, what they love about camping, hiking, bushcraft, you know, whatever the case may be. It may be a seamstress, somebody who sews, and that's their hobby. And then in the video they would name who they're going to send that coffee pot to next. And whoever ends up with that coffee pot has to do a VR reply. Now, I wanted to call it Sharing a Cup of Coffee with the World. And I thought, man, that's a fantastic idea. What that allows us to do is to be able to follow that percolator from point A to an infinite amount of video replies, and hopefully it will eventually go around the world. Now, there are some good things about this and there's some bad things about this, so let me stop this right here as far as the coffee idea. I got to thinking, I said, well, coffee is a great idea, but not everybody drinks coffee. And I said, well, no big deal. You know, they can boil some water and make some hot tea. Or they can put ice in the tea with some sugar, you know. Have some good old southern ice cold tea, you know what I'm saying? Good stuff. Or they can make some hot cocoa. I don't care. But the thing is that that doesn't really represent me, and it doesn't really represent most of the community out there. And I said, well, I've got the perfect idea. So instead of doing the percolator, we're going to do the Stanley Adventure Camp Cook Set. That's right. The old Stanley. Now, not this one. Not this one. This is my wife's. I got it for Christmas. I'm going to go to Wally World. I'm going to buy another one brand spanking new, just as this one is totally unused. And we're going to ship that out. And I'm not sure what to call this thing yet, because I've changed, you know, sharing a cup of coffee with the world. You can still say that, but now this is a cook pot. And what that allows us to do, instead of using coffee and talking, we can get somebody who wants to cook in this thing, share a cooking recipe or an episode. And what's fascinating, this is mine. Once I get it open. I'm not going to pull the whole thing out, just the Stanley. You've seen this over and over in my videos. This is my Stanley, and I bought this from dirt cheap. It did not have the lid. Now, this is the what I call the improvised lid here. It's just a top to a candle doohickey thing that happened to fit, and it doesn't rust. It's got a little rust on it, but it holds up real well. But what I got to thinking about was the patina on there. And that is character. Buddy, that is character. This thing has been well used. If I don't cook on this thing every single day, I guarantee you it's every other day I'm cooking on it, because I take it to work. I cook on it a lot here at the house because I love playing around with it. Since Donnie Pavellini Outdoors sent me the Trangia burner and the Canteen USGI style Canteen cup, man, I still love my Stanley. It doesn't mean I don't like the Canteen cup there, Donnie. You know I love that thing. I'm tickled. I'm still using that thing. But it would be nice to see this age and collect that patina over the period of use. And how wonderful that this, not this, but the cup that we do, the very cup that I send, will have started here at Manland and then end up who knows where. Because once it leaves my hands, it is up to the next individual to who they send it to. And then that person gets it and they send it to the person they want to. It would be nice if we had something like the United States map and some way to log where this thing's been with dates and see all the points and the lines drawn and how it just went all over our community. And then somebody with some good dineros in their pocket pack this puppy up and ship it across the pond and let them have a good round with it. You know what I'm saying? That gets everybody involved that's in this community involved. What it seems to me it's going to do, if, say for instance, I don't want to pick anybody's name out there, so I'm going to invent one. If I've got a fella by the name of Hubba Bubba, and he's been commenting on my channel for the past 2 years, and he's a real good old fella, I said, man, I know who I'm going to send it to. I'm going to send it to Hubba Bubba, because I think he deserves the first shot. Well, now I've got to take in considerations, make sure that Hubba Bubba is financially able to pay the shipping and handling to have it sent to somebody else. That's the first thing. 2, I want to make sure that old Hubba Bubba there is responsible enough to know not to damage this pot because it don't belong to him. Once it leaves my hand, it don't belong to me either. This is going to be something that's passed along from member and member to the community here. And there's just very few rules that I'd like for somebody to follow with this. First of all, you don't do anything to damage the pot. Now, if the plastic lid happens to get melted off, oh well, you know, we expect that. I would like to see, because I've not done it with mine, I just refuse to drill holes in it. I would like to see somebody very carefully drill 2 holes in there and put a wire lanyard to hang as a billy pot. I've finagled with this thing with some wire frame, and I've tried to do everything I could to make this thing into a billy pot type of style without actually drilling holes in it, and I can't figure it out. But somebody out there smart enough to be able to do this so it does not compromise the structure or the structural integrity of the pot. I've seen some modifications out there on YouTube I like, but I do request that you don't do anything further to it, because we want everybody to get it, everybody to enjoy it. And just to break it down right quick, this thing comes in 4 parts. You have the pot itself, you have the lid, you have the 2 plastic cups inside that I think that only me and Donnie Pavellini outdoors like. And we've got a total of 3 of these now. The 2 that came with this cup and the one that Texas Medic 45, I believe is a number, Texas Medic sent me. So this is not the contest itself, Mr. Dino, and to anybody out there watching, this is not the contest itself. What I would like for you to do is to, the way I'm going to do this, to start it off. And I don't care what the next person does. If they want to do a contest with the group, that's up to them. But what I intend to do is to send this to somebody that agrees that they will take it, make a VR reply, and then they will forward it on to somebody else who will also be responsible to continuing on and on and on. So we get a lot of good videos out of the Stanley. Now, what that does to me, what it seems to me, if I keep track, if I'm interested in this enough, just as maybe you, the recipient, into this little Stanley Adventure Club, or whatever you call it, that you will follow the tracking of the Stanley, and through that, through the maybe perhaps the comments down there, you will subscribe to that person's channel, because it may end up in somebody's hands you've never heard of. That's what I expected to happen. So I will subscribe to that person's channel so I can watch the video featuring the Stanley that I sent off. Okay. If Hubba Bubba gets this thing, he's the first person to receive it. He says, okay, I'm going to send it to George Clooney, and he sends it to George Clooney over there, and George Clooney, but I am not a member of George Clooney's site, and I'm going over and say, well, he says he sent it to George Clooney. There's the link. I clicked on it, and there he is. And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to subscribe if I like the content of his channel. And I think through something like that, we're going to gain a lot more respect and closer people that we can count on to watch our videos, and for us to watch their videos, and, you know, be the community that I think that Dino is trying to speak of here. Now, when I send this to Hubba Bubba, I will put a little gift in there, a gift that he can keep. Now that's up to the individual who receives it. If they want to put a little something extra in there or alongside the package, that's fine and dandy. But I also thought about maybe having a little small notebook with some good solid pages in it that each person who gets it, they put the time and date, sign their name on there, maybe leave a quick comment, or maybe take up a half a page just to write a little note and pass it to the next person. Who knows? Who knows? But just the idea itself, this being shared around the world. It's called the Stanley Adventure Camp Cook Set. Well, actually it's called the Stanley, and it says the Steel Cooker Nesting Cups. But down here in fine print it says Adventure Camp Cook Set. I don't know if you can see that. So we call it the Stanley Adventure Camp Cook Set. So I would like this, not this one, the one I get from Walmart, to take off on its very own adventure. I don't think there's another cook pot out there that will have been traded around the world like this one here. Well, the one I get. So I'd like for you to leave comments below in this video if you feel that you would want to partake in this and be responsible enough that once you receive it, you have it in you to pay it forward. And the rules are real simple. When you use the cup, try to clean it up the best you can. You don't want to send a dirty vessel to somebody else. That's a no-brainer. Try not to do anything to the vessel to destroy it, because it's got a long journey ahead of itself. I may actually just take the 2 cups out, or take 1 cup out to make sure that there's room in there. There's not going to be a burner. You can put this thing on your gas range. You can put it on your electric stove here at the house. I don't care if you set it on a fireplace outside, your grill top, your barbecue grill, your methanol alcohol burners. I don't care. Suspend it with a deal here. If somebody's responsible enough to know how to do, I can't drill with a darn to make a billy pot out of it. It would be wonderful to see how this thing is utilized. You may want to sit there and just do your coffee out of it and do your VR reply. That's the other set of rules. Just do a VR reply, just like maybe you would see me sitting here drinking my cup of coffee. I would like for you to place here that you would be honored to receive such a thing. And once I get a few people in the list, I'm going to give this about 2 weeks for everyone to get a chance to watch this video, because I know how it is. You got bukudos of videos to watch, and this is extra long. You need to take time to watch this video. But I'm giving it about 2 weeks or so. This is not a contest end or a contest date or anything like that. But what I will do, because I don't want to sound like I'm partial to an individual, I'm going to actually do a contest drawing to see who is the first recipient of this. And I think that's the best way, because I can sit here and name several people. As I said 5 before. It's way more than that. There's a bunches of people out there that I feel that really do deserve their first chance, you know, the first offering of this idea, and to see it go from there and hopefully just explode. Man, I'm tickled thinking that eventually this might actually make it across the pond. You know, that would be spectacular. By the way, do you happen to speak English? Of course you do. I mean, English is English. I know I speak English, but I speak a different type of English. I speak with a southern accent. Well, what do you think I speak with? I don't know. I'm just acting stupidly. But anyway, I'm going to do a drawing to see who gets this. I think that's the only fair way for me to do it. And not meaning to put somebody else on the spot, whoever that individual is. If you personally choose, like Dino, say Dino, he gets it. And we know that he chose 3 videos. He didn't do a random draw. He personally chose. That's fine and dandy. What this is about is this is sharing something with somebody you care about that means a lot to you. Now, he may ask you to do video responses, so he can choose who he thinks really would really want to do that. That helps get the videos going and back into the community. Maybe that's something you want to do. You know, okay, hey, I got the Stanley. My name's Hubba Bubba. I just got the Stanley from old Manland over there, old amateur artist Mark D channel. And I'd like for all my people out there, if you want a chance at holding this right here and doing the VR reply, you know, do one yourselves and let me choose one. You know, however you want to do it. However you want to do it. So just, that's it. I think I've already covered most of the idea. This is not the actual thing, because the very first video will be me doing the cook, the whatever I'm going to do, and then I'll name who I am sending it to. And I promise you, it will be fair. But it all depends on who puts their names in the description box below. I guess you're in, I'm in. Nah, that's boring. Put I tell you what. If you want to get in on this thing, to show me that you're really, really sincere, come up with a name for this idea. This is the Stanley Adventure Camp Cook Set, but what I'm trying to do, put the name in there, and we'll go with it that way. Because you may not get it, but you'll have the honor of saying, the Stanley Adventure Club, that was my idea, you know, whatever the case may be. Feeding the world, you know, one pot to feed the world. You know, just the ideas are unlimited. So anyway, Amateur Artist Mark D channel. This thing's probably going on for another 30 minutes or so. But anyway, y'all take care. And Dino, that's how I would do a so-called contest. Is just to get the community involved. And yeah, it's gonna be a little something in there to the person I'm sending it to. So it's not really a contest, but it is in a way. You know, that's how I would do one. But there you go. I want to thank y'all very much from the bottom of my heart. I'd like to give shout outs to everybody out there, but this video is long enough. This is Amateur Artist Mark D Chandler wishing you and y'alls out there a very happy YouTube experience. And by the way, if you ain't fried no chicken in that canteen cup, you need to give it a try. I'm serious, it's pretty dang tasty. I tell you what. Good stuff. There are a bunch of folks out there who's nice and kind and polite, and they're just good folks. They're good folks. We got LC Farms, JC Farms. Well, we got several farm names out there. I know that. We got all that group out there, the farmers, you know. We got the bush crappers, bush crappers. Oh Lord have mercy. I gotta edit that one. Bush crappers, yeah. All you bush crappers out there, I tell you. Man, this stuff can't be kicking in. Golly.